Family, welcome back to the Grill Mart Co. cooking channel. My name is Mark Ashby of Grill Mart Co. Look at that beautiful apron, leather apron I got here. And today we're going to be doing a 101 video on pulled pork. Now, I've got one of the best, the Ferrari of porks. I've got this beautiful pork butt from Heritage Farms out of North Carolina. Look at all this fat here. Look at all this good stuff. The bone in right here. This is gonna be a beautiful cook, and we're firing up the pit barrel cooker today, which is one of the easiest and best smokers on the market. Let's get started. Now this is the pit barrel cooker, and again, if you've seen these, any kind of barrel cooker, pit barrel is one of the best. Headquartered in Kentucky, former soldier. You have the lid here. We're gonna put this on the side. We got our two rods that help create the vortex effect, and those are kind of needing. You'll need these when you want to hang meat like ribs or anything else, but you also need this to get circulation and airflow in. And then come in here, you'll have your ash basket down at the bottom, and you want that full of charcoal. Now, we're going to light, if you read the directions, it tells you to light about 30 to 40 briquettes, which is, we got 40 in here, right there. And we're gonna sit this right here. We're gonna fire up our grill gun and get these babies lit really quick so that we can head back into the kitchen and rub that pork with a lot of beautiful flavor, and we're gonna put it on the smoker and let it go. So we got our charcoal, and it's nice and white. We're gonna take this out, and we're gonna take this and we're gonna dump it just over the existing charcoal in the charcoal basket. Like that. And now the vortex effect is gonna happen. We're also gonna add some wood chunks in there, some cherry wood chunks, because cherry, any fruit kind of wood, goes great with pork. Now you can see all this smoke coming up already, so we're gonna get this grill ready. I've got one giant wood chuck here, and we're just gonna put it, come on in, you'll see. Right there, that's gonna give us a lot of smoke. We're gonna set the rods in, set the grate in, and we're gonna head back in the kitchen. Final touch, put the lid on. Now we're gonna step into the kitchen and get this pork butt ready to go. So let's talk about where the pork comes from. Now, I am gonna undress here a little bit. It's okay, wearing a shirt. But you can see on my map right here, the pork butt is not from this end here, but right above the shoulder. So it has a lot of flavor and a lot of intramuscular fat. And this one has a beautiful amount of veinage and striations of fat that's gonna make this extremely flavorful. When you're picking your pork butt, you can pick bone in or bone out. It's not gonna matter. The bone radiates a lot of heat, but it's also gonna take some of the poundage away when you're trying to serve it. The pit barrel is coming up the temperature, and it likes to sit somewhere in that 250 to 275 range. I recommend that you have an external thermometer to monitor the temperature of your pork butt as you're cooking it. And today we're going to be doing with a couple different rubs, and we're actually going to be using a mustard binder. Some people don't use binders. Most of the time I don't use a binder, but mustard has a little acidity in it and it builds into it. Some people say it doesn't, some people say it does. That's the beauty of barbecue. You can do it however you want, and it's not gonna matter. It's what tastes good to you. And I know that yellow mustard does taste good on, it adds a little bit of flavor to it. So we're gonna put some mustard on here, and then we're gonna be using a couple different rubs, one from Operation Barbecue Relief, which will be our base. It's an SPG rub. Then we're gonna be going with a honey bacon barbecue rub by Meat Church, and we're gonna top it off with a little bit of spice from the Holy Voodoo in Meat Church as well. Now the first step is you gotta buy your pork butt. Get it at your local grocery store, your butcher, or you can go to the Heritage Farms website and you can get some shipped to you. This stuff is beautiful. Local butcher provided it for me. So the first thing we're gonna do is cover it in this yellow mustard. Now you want to make sure that you get every bit of it covered, even the fat cap down here at the bottom. Get every crevice and everything else, because this binder is going to help the seasoning stick to it and create a beautiful barb once this is done. Our first step is to add the base coat, which is our Operation Barbecue Relief SPG. And we're just going to spread that. You want to be a little bit light with this one actually, because we're gonna cover heavy on the rest of them. Our next step is the honey bacon barbecue. This stuff is delicious and it's gonna create a beautiful barb because there's some sugars in there. It's got a little bit of that honey flavor and you're combining bacon, so just pork with pork. It's even better. This one you wanna cover liberally with. When your first coat is on, you want to pat it down to make sure that it adheres properly. Now we're going to add just a little bit of Holy Voodoo as sprinkling across the top to give it a little bit of heat that's going to work beautifully with this rub. And we're also using smoke as a flavor. Smoke is something that is going to permeate this, give it that beautiful bark, and we're going to have a great smoke ring in this. Just like that. Now we're gonna step outside to the pit barrel cooker. We're gonna put this on the grate, fat side down. Normally it doesn't matter, but because this is sitting directly over the coals, we're gonna put that to protect it a little bit. And then we're gonna put our thermometer in there and let it sit till we hit about 165. So the smoker is probably right at temp. There's no temperature gauge here, but you know it doesn't take super long, and we got our friend here croaking. It doesn't take super long to get that going. So we're just gonna take this beautiful pork butt here. Come follow me in this transition here. We're gonna pick it up just like this, and we're gonna sit it at the center of the grate, just like that. And then we're gonna put a temperature probe in there and set that onto the side. And then we're just gonna let it sit and cook. So we have our external thermometer. Now this is a bone-in pork. You don't wanna put your thermometer next to the bone because the bone radiates heat. It's gonna give you kind of a false reading. So find the thickest part that doesn't have the bone near it and stick it in there. So it's sitting at 60 degrees internally. I've been letting it sit in the sink to kind of come up to temperature a little bit. I'm just gonna sit it right here, and then we're gonna set it and forget it. This is Bluetooth, so I can check it through my phone. We'll check back in a few hours and see how it is. So it's been about maybe 4.5 hours, and we finally hit the 203 internal temp. Now we're gonna wrap it in foil, and my cooler is a little bit tied up right now, so we're just gonna toss it in the oven. But let's come inside. It's gonna be a little smoky here. Here goes the slow-mo reveal. Whoa. But take a look at this beautiful pork butt. Now, a way you know, wow. You see how tender that is just going in? Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so we're gonna take this off, wrap it in foil, throw it in the oven for about an hour, and let it rest. After that, we're gonna pull it apart and dive in. Now, we've wrapped it and it's double wrapped in foil. Let's take it to the oven, slide it in, and let it rest for about an hour. So it's been sitting in the oven for just about an hour. For a while I had it sitting at 170 just to keep it warm. Let's take a look and see. It's nothing, it's just foil, but it does smell very smoky. So we're gonna put it over here on the countertop and we're gonna open it up and pull it apart. Beauty. And let's do the test here. It's hot. Pour it out like so. That's hot. Still very tender. So I'm going to take it out of the foil here and then we'll pull it apart on this pan. We got 2 forks because it's still really hot. I don't have any heat resistant gloves or latex gloves, but let's see how easily it pulls apart. Oh yeah, look at how that moisture in there. Look at that. Look at that color. Beautiful. I mean, it's pulling apart like butter. So moist. Juicy. Look at this. Look at that bark. Still super hot. So I'm going to pull the rest of this apart real quick and then we'll do a taste test. So the pork is juicy and tender and super pull apart. And as always, the pit barrel comes through. So to recap, we picked out a pork butt. We got our grill or our smoker up to 275. We put a mustard base on there with some salt, pepper, garlic, and a couple different rubs. Use whatever you like. And then we let it sit till it hit 203 degrees internally. I wrapped it in foil. Normally I put it in a cooler and let it sit in a towel for an hour. My cooler's occupied right now, so I put it in the oven, did the same thing. Now I'm gonna pour some of the Southern red barbecue sauce on there, and I just took a bite. It's really good, but this will make it even better. Dinner's gonna be amazing tonight. And that's the 101 on pulled pork. Man, that's good. That's the 101 on pulled pork. Pork is such a forgiving meat, and it's really hard to mess up. So if you've never done it before, try it on your grill. Try it on your smoker, pellet grill, whatever you got. They all work. Pit Barrel just pumps out really, really good food. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video, to our channel, to our Facebook page, Twitter, TikTok. Lord, we're on every single thing you can think of. We'll see you next time.